Here we go. All right. All right. How everybody doing tonight? It's Legacy Builders in the building. We got Brian Fernandez with Urban Shave. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah. So a little bit of barbershop talk tonight.
Yeah,
Man. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Brian.
I mean, I'm Brian. I'm a barber. Been doing this for about 18 years already, and it's been a fun journey for me. Like, there's just up and downs in this game, but as long as you focus and you're dedicated, you gonna get where you gotta get.
Got you.
It's not easy at the beginning though, you know, because ain't nobody trusting your ass.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, so it's hard at the beginning to be a barber because like you have to build that trust, show your work, build a reputation for yourself, and like when you in this game at the beginning, like it's real rough and tough, man. Like sometimes you got to do side gigs until you get that level where you need to get to, and you just trying to build clientele, get people, word of mouth, promote yourself, take pictures, have a personality, know how to interact with people, talk. That it comes with a lot being a barber, like and then at the same time you want people to trust you.
Yeah. Listen, the trust thing is real, man. You just see the way my hairline's set up. You know what I mean? Trust is a big thing. So to your point, trust is key, especially a barbershopper, man. But I mean, I love the fact that you've been doing it for 18 years. I didn't realize you've been doing it for 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years.
That's a while, man. That's a while. So you're a serious vet in this game.
I mean, I'm 36, and
okay.
And now it's been 18 plus years, like 18 years that I count, like nonstop, just dedicated to cutting hair.
So let me ask you, like take us through that journey though, because 18 years from you 18, you've been surviving and doing things and thriving as an entrepreneur. That's a real big thing, man.
I mean, it's tough. There's like I said, there's up and downs in this game, but you just gotta be motivated. It's like you going to college. You gotta put in that work for those 4 years to get that degree.
Exactly. Okay.
Barbers, we have a cycle that we go through. Where you gotta put in at least 2 years dedicated time of like working 7 times a day type of thing.
Jesus.
Or take 1 day off every 2 weeks.
That's it.
That's if like it comes with for saying you have a family.
Yeah.
You gotta dedicate your time to work and family. Like in today's world, it's not even easy being a husband.
Yeah.
Or being a boyfriend, because sometimes you want to make dinner reservations, or there's this family event coming on a Saturday, but barbers are needed for Saturday.
Yeah.
Everybody want to look fresh for the event.
It's crazy that you say that, because that's it right there, though. Because like every time, for me doing my events and Legacy Builds events, it's like we talk to barbers. It's like, yeah, Saturday. It's like, nah, we can't make it. That's my money day. The point though, like it's a real business, man. And I mean, people sleep on barbers, but it's damn near like being like a doctor, like where you always missing like key moments to make that money and hustle, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
See, people don't realize that the first doctors were barbers.
Okay,
so
elaborate. I want to hear this one.
So if you think about it, if you ever watch those cowboy movies, right? When you get shot, where do they went to?
Where they get shot?
Well, if they needed to get the bullet taken out or taken care of, or just be taken care of, the barber. When you needed to pull the tooth out, where they went to? The barber.
Okay. I'm starting to see the pattern a little bit. I never thought about it like that.
Like, they got to take a shower and look fresh and get a fresh cut. Where did they went to? The barber.
But you ain't lying. Everywhere before you about to go to an event, all that type of stuff. You see everybody getting a shave right before the showdown, everything like that. You ain't lying. I didn't even think about it like that.
Back in the day, you got a cut. You need to get stitched up. Who did they go to? The barber, to sue the guy, to go to the shop.
That's crazy. So let me ask. So that's the reason why y'all be charging $1 million for a cut?
Nah, hey man, it's about the service and the therapy.
The service, you're not lying though, because we done had some talks in the chair, though, man. We done had some talks in the chair.
So think about it. Like a barber is very important in today's world because we're not certified therapists, but we're like therapists. Because we can relate with a lot of topics, conversations, or problems, or emotions that are going on in your world. Or like you might think you got it worse, but then who knows if the next guy has it worse than you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that comes with it, like, you know, building trust.
It's crazy to your point though. Like it is therapeutic, man. You come to the barber shop. That's like, especially for men, our safe haven, man.
Yeah.
We come in just have talks, talk about real life stuff that you can't talk about at home. You know what I mean? What you're going through. You know, so you're not lying. It definitely is therapeutic, man. And then after that fresh cut, you feel like $1 million on top of that.
Man, forget about it. Like, yo, like sometimes you get people, right? Hey, I'm going to couples therapy. Like, yeah, what's going on? You know, break everything down, right? And then you got them and give them little pointers of you or copy from somebody that went through something and you can relate to and then help them out. You know, it's like you know, you give them pointers that you know therapists ain't gonna tell you and give you without no filter.
Yeah, no, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Like I said, we don't talk about some stuff for real, so you ain't lying.
Yeah, so think about it. Okay. You gonna sit down for an hour and ask a therapist about your problem, right? But why don't you ask that therapist before if you go to couples therapy, is he married or is he single?
And it's funny, so what you're saying is you should still be paying you more money based off the fact it's low key free therapy. That's
free therapy, yeah.
So that's why I be charging like $80 a cut these days.
Oh man,
listen, bring back them days where it was $10 a cut, man. I miss them days, man. I miss them days.
I don't miss them days. I gotta sit in there from 8 in the morning to 10 o'clock. If you in New York, 12 o'clock at night.
And it's crazy when you think about that though, because like back in them days, like you walking home with, like you said, $80, maybe $120 with tips back then. But you know what I mean? Like when I think about it,
think about it. You sit down and you just cut 10 people at $12, $15. Like if it's a kid, $10.
Crazy.
With a beer, maybe 20.
It's crazy because I never really thought about it like that though at the end of the day. Because you know, you come in and back in the day it was like, $10. I gotta get a fresh cut with $10, and I'm thinking like, when you that makes sense though, like.
But think about it. You giving me $10. I need to get you out here in 10 minutes. Yeah. You know, compared to now, you sit down and I got you for 30 to 40 minutes, and I charge you $40.
You know, it's crazy though how the game evolved though, to your point. Because you know, back in the day, even like 6, 7, 8 years ago, before this transition, you go to the barbershop, you sitting all day, like you said, for $10. Yeah. But now it's efficient. I go on the app, book the appointment. It's in a half an hour. You know it's $40. If you miss an appointment, somebody else get it. It's crazy how the game evolved, man.
Before it was first come, first serve.
Yeah.
You know, now as barbers, thanks to technology in today's society, that we're more organized.
Yeah.
Now we know what we're capable of cutting for the day. You know, time wise. So if you have an appointment and efficiently, so you have an appointment, and you know that you're getting out, you know, you can be on your day planned out in a timely manner.
It's crazy, like the business development for barbers. To see your point, that's a real true thing. Because like I said, back in the day, you be in the barbershop all day, and it was crazy. It was so unorganized back in the day, man. Listen, if you don't know the barber, you're not cool with the barber, you were walking, you might have like 7 heads. I remember old school days where I'd be at the barbershop, I ain't make an appointment, or I ain't know the barber, and it's like, all right, somebody jump in the chair, you wait, and then all of a sudden you jump back up to go in and somebody walk in, hey, yo, Jay, what's going on? Yo, I was him. Nah, he had an appointment. It was no system. Like, so to your point though, like the evolvement from back in the day is crazy, man. Like it's really business efficient and like a real legit business. It's always been, but now it's just like any other business out there. Like you gotta make your appointment, you gotta do what you gotta do, and give a top service on top of that.
Yeah, it's like you're like, oh, you got some type of drug dealer coming in.
Yeah.
And it's 8 people ahead of him, right? And you know he paid that money, or you scared of him.
Exactly. You ain't lying.
Pablo Escobar is coming in right now.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, y'all all gotta wait.
You ain't lying. That's how it used to be back in the day. You know what I mean? For real. Like, nah, that's what's up, man. So I mean, let me ask you though, like as far as the business go now, you've been doing it for 18 years. So like, how do you maintain your customers, man? Like, how do you?
To maintain your customers, you have to be up to date with today's style, today's fades. Okay. You know, besides that, you gotta be treating yourself right, taking care of yourself at the same time. Because you know, in this game, like you go through a lot. You have barbers that, you know, oh, I can't cut unless I have a drink in here. Oh, I can't cut unless I smoke. You know, there's different things that you go through in life as a barber that you like, because you know, you think about it. You're sitting here for hours, and then you know, you can you can catch an addiction
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know now you're trying to
Buy
pace
the time.
yourself, buy your time
Yeah.
until somebody comes in, until you get to that cycle where you build your clients up.
Yeah.
It's stressful at the beginning, but when you feel you strong and you're busy and you keep yourself organized, like wake up in the morning, go to the gym, get your focus, just focus on getting your customers, making sure they're on time. Don't like any problems that you have, leave it outside, because now you got a mad barber cutting your hair because he going through some stuff that you like yo, what's wrong? This guy was rough with me today, like, and he nipped me twice, like.
Let me ask you this: what was the wildest barber story you had?
The wildest?
Wildest story you
had.
had.
The wildest story is that we had a very professional barber come in, top notch fly, personality wise. Next thing you know, that my man is popping Molly in the back and cutting hair. So we went from focus mode to jaw moving and everything. Like, what's wrong with that guy?
That's crazy.
And then arguing with the customer, or he used to seeing him talk. And then now all of a sudden he's quiet, but the only thing moving is his jaw.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Or you got the other barber that every morning he has to have a cappuccino. What's the cappuccino? It's a pint of vodka.
It's crazy because it's crazy to your point. As a customer sitting in the chair, you do be wondering what be going on sometimes because everybody human.
Everybody
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's been some crazy scenarios where, like you said, I've been in some seats where I could tell he had a few drinks. And it's like, Jesus, please don't mess up my hairline anymore. My joint already pushed back, man. You ain't lying, though.
It's funny, though, but sometimes you got to, like, talk about, my hand's shaking. Why? I ain't have a drink yet.
It's real.
Oh, I don't cut. I don't cut unless I smoke. Like, I got to pop an edible. But then you got that one barber that eyes is closed as hell, but he's focused, like,
doing what you gotta do.
Crazy. Then you got barbers be like, yeah, you cut hair good, but I like you better high. Or then you got, you cut hair good, I like you drunk.
That's crazy.
Like everybody, like I said, like in the barber, everybody got their own taste, everybody got their own personality. Like, you might have the guy that talks to you about stocks, retirement, benefits. Then you got the other one that's talking to you about sports. Then you got the other one that's talking to you about gambling.
Listen, different personalities, man. Different personalities. I mean, you being a barber, how is it like money wise? Is it real good money? Because I know barbers be making a killing a lot of times.
The thing is that when you a barber, sometimes like if you don't organize yourself and stop yourself and have a little self control, you get money happy.
Okay.
Because you can go ahead and blow 400, talk about I'll make it back tomorrow.
Some busy days at $40, $50
It all depends on your clientele base.
Okay.
And how you carry yourself and how you control yourself.
Okay.
Because it comes to a stage where you gotta stop yourself and hold up, I'm throwing too much. So this is what they were telling me, that when I get to this level, I'm gonna get money happy and go to the go-go bar and throw 300, 400 and come back tomorrow with the mindset that I need to do 10 people because of the price range.
Yeah.
And like, you got the clientele, I'll make it back.
So with that said, let me ask you too, man. So how do you even keep that balance, knowing the fact that you could go one day and make $400 or $500 and the next day make $100? How do you keep that balance, man? That must be hard, man.
Because sometimes you hit a fall. Okay. So not every week is the same week as last week. So you might cut 100 last week. This week you cut 50, but you have a 50 guaranteed number coming in because when you do that cycle where you got your weeklies, you got your monthlies, you got it every 2 weeks, it goes on. So when you got that cycle, it's like, all right, this week I got everybody that come in for every 2 weeks. Gotcha. But it's like you got to put in that work so you get to that cycle. That way until you have a person for each half hour of the day until you leave.
Gotcha. Let me ask you, do you notice if somebody stopped coming to you?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Okay. But that's on me.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Either I'm too late.
Okay.
Or I'm not being very detailed on what I was doing or how I was cutting your hair.
Okay.
It's like, for instance, I put a hot towel on you. I railed you in. Now you ain't getting none. Okay. You might get a few, and after that, nah, you ain't getting no hot towel. But it's on top, it's just like then you start slacking, right?
Mm.
You're like, hold up, bro, I gotta give them the work because I haven't given them the work in a while.
Wow, yeah.
So there's this ups and downs with it. Like it's it all depends on the mood and how the day is going for that person, that individual, that barber.
But that's crazy though, because like having this talk, it makes me realize how barbers, how you so business oriented. Like it's just like anything else, but even deeper. Because if people therapists,
Yeah.
you cutting their hair, you have to pay attention to all the details. You got to give them the work, and you got to be strategic at the same time though. And you can't really make any mistakes because you jerk somebody one time, it's like, man, I don't know about you no more.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's crazy because you never really think about how the day in the life of a barber and how it's so detail oriented at the end of the day. That's crazy.
But then you have this happening. Then you have, like, we're gonna go into details like with the type of customers you get. Sometimes you get a talkative customer. Sometimes you get a customer that as soon as you start the conversation, you start to react, and as a barber, you already know, oh, this guy don't like talking. Or this guy likes talking. Or you be like, or you don't want to talk to the customer because his breast thing.
That's crazy.
And who wants to smell that? Or the barber's on top and doing his beard or his shape, and he's like holding his breath hard as hell. Like
that's crazy.
And the guy wants to, and then you got the customers that move a lot. Like every time, like, bro, did you just sit there?
Or somebody like myself that be falling asleep in the chair.
Oh, you can fall asleep. And listen, as long as your breath don't stink and you don't got bad body odor, guys, listen, don't go to the barbershop after the gym. Like, if you do, make sure you take a shower. Like,
that's a real thing, though. But that's crazy, though, when you think about the level of different clients and different things going on. And you got to maintain your composure as a business professional, while at the same time continue to break the ice, have conversations, make sure the cut is good. I mean, I can't imagine cutting kids' heads, man. Like that kid that's crying and screaming, kicking and all that type of stuff, man.
That's another thing. You have to have your tricks for it. Because then, barbers sometimes have to change up their personality. So sometimes you get a kid, right? You got to be sweet with them. Now you got to, like, for instance, you got a professional customer, uptight, verbal skills to the thousand. Like you have to interact a certain way. You have to be, like you got to be on his level.
Yeah.
Then you got the hood. Yo, what up, my G? How you going? Everything good? All good?
You gotta switch it up.
You gotta switch it up. You gotta. There's volumes to it. So and then you got you're like, yes, how you doing today, sir? Like, everything properly played. Like professional wise, the music. So you got over here Waka Flocka playing, and I go on. And then you got that one Caucasian person come through the door. You're like, change the music.
But even that, no, it's funny that you say that because that's a real thing though, man. Because like you're in a barbershop, and it's like certain music will fly with certain clientele in the shop, and then you see somebody else coming, it's like, you probably want to change that.
But when you're in a business and you're all working as a team, and you bring this on the table, you make codes.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
So when you make a code, right? So you that code or that word, right, should trigger every barber to be on the move to change that music, that song. So the nearest person that's there is gonna go and click and change that song because like, yo, we can't play that.
It's crazy though because the music thing is a real thing because a lot of barbershops don't do that. You know what I mean? And it's funny because even tonight you had a customer that was, you know what I mean? I had the music playing. It was, it was real commercialized and and clean. And I was like, this is your jam. But to your point, I didn't even realize it didn't even click for me why you were doing that. And it was like, that's crazy.
Because you're like, man, you don't be listening to that.
What is this? And they kept going on replay with those type of songs. I'm like, okay, all right, I ain't judging them nothing like that, but
like I said, it comes to who's there, at what time and what place. Like there's a time and place for the specific song.
That's crazy. I mean, the other thing I wanted to talk about, man, a lot of times with us legacy builders, we deal with a lot of entrepreneurs and we deal with a lot of barbershops. And what I like about you is that you actually utilize the money you're making to actually, pay taxes and actually put what you're making down on paper to be able to do financial moves. Let's talk about that a little bit because I know a lot of times I done seen some barbers that be wilding out, put that they made $10 a year for the year.
Yeah, but that's the other part about it. Like, yes, it's a cash business. You can put what you want, But you have to think about it as like, we're getting older.
Yeah.
We got to be a little more responsible. Like,
Yeah.
we have to put some money on the side. Like, when it comes to health, dental insurance, health insurance, we have to pay our own, because, we have to maintain ourselves and make sure we're doing by right. And then at the same time, with today's law, like, you need to have insurance or you're going to get a fine.
It's crazy because, I guess that's my question though, because and it's crazy because this is everyday stuff, but you don't think about it. So y'all do have to pay. Yeah, that probably costs a lot of money, paying your own medical insurance and all that.
And like I said, there's levels to it when you're reaching the cycle as in like, I can afford it.
Yeah.
But you have to put in that time and put in that work and get to that level where you're like, all right, I make enough where I'm good. I can go on vacation. I can put money on the side for my retirement, my 401k. Like, it's coming out of your pocket, but you don't want to be that guy that I got to retire as a barber at 50 because ShopRite got benefits.
Man, that's real talk. That's real talk.
Like, oh, why are you working at ShopRite? I need to retire with benefits.
It's crazy that you say that because I remember one barber that I used to go to. It got to the point I remember when I was young, and he was like 60, and his hands are shaking, and it was like, wait, I think it's time. But to your point, when you don't plan properly, now you got to go to that Walmart job to get benefits because it's only but so long they're gonna let old pops cut his hair when he got the shakes because you're just older.
You got arthritis or something there because it's part of the game.
Because now you're actually cutting up people all the time and using your hands and stuff like that. So
like you have to have like certain things, certain exercises to maintain your hands. Because you're working with your hands.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why it comes to like we need to be healthy. We need to like for instance, like I going back to the levels.
Yeah,
I was at a stage where I let myself go. I'm overweight. I was weighing 238. I just lost 38 pounds.
Wow, congrats, man.
Thank you. But I had my hands was getting a little shaky. My body wasn't the same. Blood pressure and stuff like that. Like I had to change a lot to get where I'm at now.
Gotcha.
To focus and have a lot more self-control and get where I need to get health-wise and money-wise. Being more responsible. Because it's not easy. Because like I said, you get money happy.
Because that's tough, man. Because like I said, today is a good day, man. I have a newfound respect for barbers, man. Because you really don't realize how much I go through to cut somebody hair and navigate through this world. Because to your point, if you're not taking care of your health, imagine a new barber that's coming out in the game and they don't know how to manage their money, and now you don't got health insurance and you get sick, and now you got to take off all these days because you don't get regular benefits like a regular person that works a 9 to 5. That's insane. I didn't even think about how deep it gets in those situations because it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And then so like, I guess for me, do you help other barbers and new barbers teach them to know how to save their money and how to do things and try to set yourself up with a 401k and stocks like that, things of that nature?
You go ahead and try to guide others, give them ideas and show them,
Okay.
But it's just, when you're young and you're upcoming, like, you're going to do young and upcoming and young things. Like, you're not going to think about it.
Yeah.
You're going to go ahead, all right, my credit's up, get a $4,500 credit card and not pay that until the interest rates are in.
Like, you can't pay it after that.
You can't pay that after that. It's just like, if you're trying to build credit, like that's the good thing about working. And it all depends on the environment, the area you're in. Okay. Because if you're in an area where they don't know about benefits, they don't know about credit, they don't know about wealth, they don't know about retirement, then you're working with the, I'm going to stay in the same level and just blow all this money and not save a penny.
That's crazy.
Because I'm going to make it next week.
Let me ask you this though, like, has anybody tried to fight you if you messed up their hair through the course of your barbership time?
No, because like I said, like it all depends the crew you got and the friends you got when it comes to showing. Like, because sometimes you get some. Like I had one time when like it wasn't me, a customer, the dude said, "Yeah, you know how to do a skin fade with a one on with a one on top, which is a simple haircut." Yeah, he don't even know the dude came out of the academy. It was like the movie Barbershop when he nipped. So the dude goes, he's like, yeah, I got you, put the cape on. He's like, you know what he's doing, he know how to start. He gets that comb and he goes, yo, what you doing? I thought you said you know what you're doing. Like,
that's funny, man. That's funny.
And then the dude was like, yo, I'm about to F you up, yo. Like, yo, we gotta fight, yo. Like,
that's crazy. I mean, let me ask you this too, because I feel like nowadays, like barbers, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this may be me being ignorant. I feel like nowadays barbers really be going to barber school. But I feel like back in the day, was that a thing back in the day? Because you've been in the game 18 years. See, I always just thought people just jump in with the clippers and play with your son's head, you know?
It all depends on what you want to do in life.
Okay.
You know, are you dedicated to learning? Do you like doing it? You know, you have to like what you do. If you like what you do, you love what you do, and it's not work, you know. You're having fun with it. Yeah. Like, you know, like for instance, me, I love cutting hair. Well, yeah. I get to interact with different people. Yeah. Learn about the world, learn about you know, different careers. Make people laugh, feel good, and, you know, leave happy.
Yeah, you're passionate about it.
Yeah, I'm passionate about it. You know, I like what I do. You know, like I like that you feel good and you look good. And you're like, yo, I left good. Like, you know, I like to change your mindset, your vibe. That way, you know, you leave out of here positive, like not negative. Yeah. You know, and you help you forget about whatever situation you got going on in life. Like, you know, bring you back. But think about it. I got 30 minutes to do that.
That's crazy. That's pressure right there. Yeah, pressure right there. Yeah. Okay. Now that's not bad, man. That's not bad, man. So like, let me ask you, man. Like, so how long you plan on doing the barber thing? Like, you love it. This is it. This is season finale in terms of.
Nah, because it all takes time. You know, everything has its time and place. Like, you know, for instance, all right, I gotta build a crew now. I gotta build my own shop, and now I gotta build a crew. Now I gotta build a crew where I gotta put time and effort and make sure that they can run my business my way. You know, the way I would run it, organized wise, as in like, you know, how I want it to run and I want it to be. That way we all happy and everybody's eating.
Gotcha.
You know.
Okay.
Because, you know, even like when you got, like, you know, sometimes you get a newbie, and then you got hustling barbers. Gotcha. That act like the customer, they know the customer, and they say what's up with the steal.
I was about to say, like, that's another thing right there, though, too. Like, I know that'd be happening too, though.
Like, or you grab the phone, like, yeah, just ask such and such, right? But then knowing that, you know, like, yo, we take turns in here, like, oh, my bad.
That's funny, though. Like, that's another thing, though. Like, that's deep, man. It's layered, man. It's layered.
It's like, it's not even easy being a boss too, because you know you gotta deal with the customers, the barbers, and the shop.
Being organized, everybody keep everybody getting along, keeping everything in order.
Making sure your system is there, like. But it's not easy, you know. But me personally, like, the good thing about being a barber is that you can do other things on the side. Like, you know, you can do other trades that you want to like learn. If you want to be a truck driver at night, and or if you want to learn stocks. Or, you know, you want to be in the real estate industry, you know, where, you know, you part-time you sell houses, or part-time you sell health, life insurance. Like, you know, there's different things that you can do at the same time. But when it gets to that point where you're just busy, you know, you dedicate on cutting hair, you know, you want to keep cutting and stay where you're at, or you want to grow and build somewhere else.
Gotcha. Okay. Now that's good to know. That's good to know, man, because you never really think about stuff like that. I didn't know, like, but that's good to know, because I never even thought about that. Because like you said, you be trading stocks at night, and the good thing about the barber is that when you're not busy or somebody's not in the chair, you can still be making calls that you need to make during the day. Yeah. So the amount of freedom that you can have and schedule out your day is real good. Yeah. You know. So let me ask you this: would you recommend this is a top tier position for entrepreneur and business owner?
It's a top tier because it's needed everywhere.
Okay.
I don't care how broke you are, how rich you are, how much you want to like spend money. You gotta sit down and get a haircut.
No, it's crazy that you said that, because there's been many a times where I don't have maybe like $60 to my name, and I'm like, yo, this bar's gonna get 30, so it's gonna be at least $40 or $35. But let me try to at least line my bed up so you don't got to do bed, but I'm at least gonna get my haircut. To your point, that's real true though. Like, it's one of those professions where you're always gonna do it no matter what, because looking good feels good. And like you said, coming to the barbershop is therapeutic. You get to have a talk, relax, get your cut, and then feel good and look good. And
not everybody's money's good. Because sometimes, right, you'll get a dad, right, that got 4 kids or 3 kids, let's say 3, and he goes at his house in the garage and buzzes them all off, nice and even, and then comes to the shop to go by, I need shape ups for all 3. That's
a whole nother.
Because now he needs to save $15 $15, $20 on each head.
It's funny, man, because to your point, like people do all that type of stuff, including me. Now I didn't do that per se, but there's been times where I gotta listen to you that exact thing where buy my little clippers from Walmart, whatever the case is, you know what I mean, and then go in and shave my joint down and be like, yo, I'm just coming, let me just get a shaper. So now you wasting time for $7 back in the day, getting a shaper. To your point, just to avoid. How do you even deal with that customer? Because I used to be that customer too. I ain't gonna lie to you. How do you deal with that though?
You gotta have the heart and the love for it, and be like, I got you, bro. Like I'll go over it again.
I got you.
And I'll still hook you up, but I won't charge you the haircut because like mentally you should know already the guy's a little tight on me. But when you have the love for it, and you like helping people, like I like helping people, like that's just in me. I got you. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. Like I'll go over it and like give me what you got.
I love that, man, because the truth is that's true passion and true enjoying what you do. Because at the end of the day, to your point, it takes a lot to recognize that.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing. Like you come get a shape. It's like, wait, how'd you get a haircut without? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, it's probably rough times, and you still provide that high level customer service, which is great, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, tell the people where they can find you at. Where we at in New Jersey?
We here, 407 Park Ave, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Urban Shave.
Urban Shave. Okay. Yeah. And I know you got like an app too, so where you can book appointments.
Yeah. We got an app for Android or Apple. That you can download and make your appointments. Pick the barber that you want, whoever. You can pick it to whoever you want.
Okay.
Everybody's good here. You got nothing to worry about. Your hairline gonna get pushed back.
Listen, mine gets pushed back. I don't go to many people. I stick to him.
You see the camera, right? Looks good, right?
I love it. I mean, you want anybody to follow you on social media or anything like that?
I mean, just look me up at Urban Shave. I'm always here.
Urban Shave. All right, perfect, man. Yeah, man. So it was a good talk, man. And I love the fact, here at Legacy Builders, really try to help you out and talk and talk about business and really let people know they can grow their business as a barber and stuff like that. So I appreciate you having me here tonight. And definitely everybody come out to Urban Shave. Like this is the shop. Again, it's in Scotch Plains. Last thing I leave off, definitely come out, Brian. Next week, the 19th, we have an event out here in Jersey, South Greenbrook, so real close by, man.
Oh, I'll be there for sure, man.
I'll be there. Go to our website, www.legacybuildersus.com. It's scrolling on the screen. And go ahead and get a ticket. We're going to be talking about that type of stuff. But we're going to turn all our barbers, all our entrepreneurs, and millionaires. Yeah. So definitely, man, definitely appreciate it.
With retirement and benefits.
Exactly. Talking about all that. So definitely appreciate it, Brian, man.
Yeah, anytime.
Definitely, man. Definitely, man.